Okay, we back here. Same SS. Everything done put back together. We got new valve cover gaskets. They blue, you probably can't see them because everything back there was, but new gasket for the valve cover. We got a new gasket for the intake manifold. We got a new AC compressor. Brand new AC compressor. $280 something for that bitch, but yeah. Alternator had already been replaced before, so this was remanufactured. It was like probably a couple months old. These right here had to be replaced, both of them. This right here is what they call the water bypass. There's one right here, and then there's one right down there. And what those two do, they send water through here. You got one heater core, and then you got another heater core. And they hook up right here. So those two had to be replaced. This is one of them. When I start taking everything apart, them two fell apart right in my hand. Coolant reservoir got to be replaced. It's already been ordered, so it should be in whenever. But everything else is put back in. And out of the 300 screws, well, let's not say 300. Out of the few hundred screws that I had to fucking take out of this bitch, I only ended up with one not going where the hell that shit belonged. And that one was, I think it was an extra screw that I had from before, but I'm not sure. But everything came out a success. AC below cold as can be. They say this take 36 ounces, so I just put 3 cans of the 12 ounces that they had. That's one, that's two, and that's 3 right here. Change the air filter. I had to change the spark plug wires. These are the old one right here. The old spark plugs, some are over here in this box. They got the old air filter. These are old intake manifold gasket. These shits fucked up. Fucked up. These right here are the old valve cover gasket. Those are fucked up. You can't do no work without one of these motherfuckers. I got shit all over the place. More spark plug wires. Got vice grips. You got big sockets. You got little sockets. You got torque wrench. Yeah, jack, stand, all that crap. That's about it. I use Autolite spark plug wires, and I use Bosch spark plugs, Platinum series. You know, I usually put Bosch in the Ford, so I tried in the Chevy for now. I ain't feel like paying $7 a spark plug for AC Delco. Well, I'm not even gonna be driving this car that much anyways. Just wanted to get a few shit out the way. I'm just doing the maintenance. As you can see, everything is back exactly how the factory put it. Engine cover right here. I had to degrease and wash this shit maybe 7 times for it to get this color, but it's back. Next thing on the to-do list is the transmission itself. I'm gonna have to drop the pan, change the filter, and put a new transmission pan gasket on it, because the other one has silicone on it. I don't want no silicone on the pan. I want the pan to be held up on its own. That's how my other 3 cars, well, my other 2 cars are, so that's how I want this one to be. After I'm done with everything, I'm going to have to degrease the engine down to the T. I don't know what's a good cleaner for this, but it got to get clean. And I just unhooked all the electrical and let the engine dry for about 3 days. 3 or 4 days, a whole week. And that should take care of whatever water that's going to be left. I would pressure clean it, but I don't want to crack anything. Especially the fuel injectors, they tiny as hell. But this car needs a good cleaning. Got an optimal battery in the front. Got a little setup right here. And this setup runs to this right here. And I got that little hooked up to the ignition switch that only turns on the secondary battery for when the car is in run position. When the car is in accessory mode, the 2 batteries never meet. So only when the car is running, the battery in the front and the battery in the back will be getting charged at the same time. In the trunk, 215 CVXs. I got the battery set up right here, yellow top. I done put on a piece of wood and a battery tray. So I got it sitting in the battery tray, but the battery tray is mounted to a piece of wood that's under the floor. Keeps everything from falling over. You see that? I could pull this all day and it ain't gonna go nowhere. It's gonna sit his ass down right there. So that's a good thing. Then I got these 2 running to the amp. The reason I don't have these hooked up yet is because I gotta split these wires right here and have each amp. Each of these wires gotta have a fuse box of their own for the amp. If you don't do that, you're gonna blow both amps. Because when there's a shortage, a circuit or some shit, that's what's gonna happen. It's just gonna overload, go straight to the amp instead of just coming through and blowing the fuse. So 1 amp is right here. That's the highs and mids. It's a power base. 800X. 800.2X. And then on the other end right here, I got the Power Acoustic 5500 LFA series. I think it is. Yeah, I think it's the LFA1 or LF1A, whatever hell that shit is. That's the 2 amps. When I got it, everything was wired down to the back of the chair, so you couldn't even sit back here because everything was wired. The wires was exposed over here. You couldn't see shit. So now I had to take the chair out and have everything run underneath the carpet on the side. And the doors, I had to retape them up, but I'm gonna do a better job because I was just doing this for a quick fix. You know, I just retape them up so they could look better. As far as the alarm go, this had 2 alarms on it. One was being used. The other one, the installer, I guess got lazy and he wanted to take out. So what I did was I disconnected the new alarm from wherever it was, which was hooked up to the old alarm harnesses while the old alarm was still connected to the car. So that was a cheap route. So I took out the new alarm. I had the instructions, installation, and all that stuff down there on the laptop. I put the laptop right over here on this chair, and I ran through every wire underneath this car. That's under this dash right here. Every wire. And disconnect them one by one by one by one. And reconnected it back to the factory setting. As if this car never had an alarm on it. And then I took the new alarm and connected it piece by piece back to the car. So I had to take out the first alarm. I had to take out the new alarm first, and then take out the first alarm, and then rewire the car how it was, and then rewire the new alarm back to the car. That way everything got reattached the right way. Because for some reason, ignition switch, when you put in on mode, a motherfucker still have the car running from start. So if I had the car in start and then it was staying on, if I push it back to accessory, it doesn't turn off the car. It just keeps the car running until I bring it back to off. So now I can put it into accessory mode, and I can put it into start mode, which bring it back to on without, the switch acting crazy. What happened was they rewired, the first alarm that was on the car, it was a start. The second alarm that was on the car, it was no start. So when they hooked up the second alarm to the old alarm, they didn't connect the kill switch the right way. Because the second alarm, it has the ignition kill, which won't let you start unless the trigger is hit. So that shit was confusing. I had to learn that shit real quick. I looked at it one time like, damn, this shit ain't right. So I had to redo that real quick. So now everything works fine. I can start the car, and when I bring it back to accessory, it'll turn off the car, but it'll be in accessory mode. As opposed to when the car was in on mode and I bring it to accessory, the fucking car is still running. That shit was crazy. But I gotta order the sunroof assembly. Not the glass, it's the assembly. The assembly costs $1,200. I'm trying to find on eBay for anywhere between $200 $300. Cause the glass opens, but the rail is destroyed. That shit. I tried grease. I tried oil. I tried lubricating the frame itself. Everything. That shit still don't go through. The motor works. It just doesn't work that well. And the frame itself is either been rusted out by water getting in, or just damaged from the music that they had in the car. Because all these panels up here was not even hooked up here. All this shit was down. Guess the music took its toll on the MC. MC ain't made for 215s. So I rewired the 215s the right way. That way I could get clear bass without having to knock the whole car apart. That's basically what I was going for, and that's what I did. I got clear highs, clear mids. I got a speaker in here where the original one go in the door. Got one right here, and I got the tweeter right down. And everything is set up just how I want it. And then I got 2 6x9s in the rear, one on each side. So that's a good thing. Everything's been rewired from the ignition to the relays. Anything that's under this dash has been taken apart and put back to how it's supposed to be. And including the ignition, the start, the power button, anything that is behind this shit has been rewired to how it's supposed to be. The only thing I gotta do now, as far as work on the inside, is again get everything cleaned up, get chairs how I want them, get the door panels clean. I just ordered this door panel because this one is cracked in half. Right up here. It's cracked right here from where they've been pulling the door down from the inside of the car to close it. Problem is, people don't take their time, or people get drunk at the club, or whatever the hell the excuse may be, and they abuse the door, so the door then breaks apart itself. So this is a new one coming in, and it should be here for next week, Wednesday or some shit. I got the other side mirror right there. That one is broken. That shit is powered nothing. That shit can't move. You can't do nothing. All it do is hang right there. All you can see is the floor. because that's what it's pointed at, the floor. So that one's coming in the mail too, hopefully Wednesday or Thursday. Even Tuesday will help. So slowly but surely, I'm bringing this shit back to life. I'm bringing it back to factory setting, even though it's been modified already. So that's what I plan on doing. That's what I did with my Tahoe. I got the Tahoe Limited right here. It's a 2000 Tahoe Limited police package. And then up front, I got the Mercury Cougar XR7. It's 1997, 3.8 rear-wheel drive. Got 22s on it right now. It's been parked for almost a year and a half, 2 years. Tahoe. I had this car for a year and about 2 months. And I just bought the MC. MC getting work done to it. All my cars been having work done to them. Before I even drive my car, I have to work on them. I have to make them how I want them. That's the only way I'm going to know where everything at. I took this engine apart, and I can tell you where everything at. You ask me what color it is, I'll tell you. It could be in the darkest of the night. I'll let you know what screw goes where. That's how it works around here. I'm not really a full-time mechanic. You know, it's something that people tell me I should go to school for. So, this is something I do as a hobby. I used to be a computer technician, ran a business, had a business partner and all, but you know, everything changed over once in a while. I still do it, but it's one of those optional things. As far as the setup goes, I got this fuse box right here running from the auxiliary port on the main fuse box to this fuse. This fuse then runs all the way over here to this little isolator right here. And at the bottom, this one runs to the back battery where it gets charged. Now in between that, I have this right here. It's what I call an on switch. I made this. I study a lot of crap about battery isolators, so I made this one. But basically, it's just a wire. This one's a tough wire. And right here is a fuse. I just took a regular fuse and fuse them two together and take that bitch up. That's it. I'll get a fuse holder in the long run. But right now, this is how I got it. I got it hooked up like this. I don't know why I did it like this, but I don't know. Just that's how I felt at the time, so I just made it like that. But that's what that is. So whenever the ignition switch is turned to on mode, this right here, this wire right here will turn this on, and these two will have contact. If I put this in accessory mode, these two will not have contact. So as I drain this battery right here, which is a stock battery, never gets drained. This battery runs both amps in the back, which plays the music. This one just runs the radio, so it gets drained slowly. But these two, this one right here, these two right here don't never touch while it's in accessory mode. The alternator puts out 14.1, I think, 14.3, and it gives out 13.2 to the red top, and I think 13.1 to the yellow top, because it gets a voltage drop. Some shit, whatever the hell they call that. Yeah, it drops 1 volt. I don't know, whatever. And then the blue wire that you see right here is just a simple ground, because it has to have ground. So I just grounded itself to the installation or to the firewall, wherever it's screwed at. That's basically it. You know, everything in this shit's getting cleaned up, redone. Cost 131,000 miles and some change. I'm doing some little things to it. Chevy is not cheap. You know, I'm not saying that everything's supposed to be $1 and some change, but Chevy is not cheap. It's one of the leading competitors of motherfucking pay this and pay that. So that's how the car. That's how the car rolls. That's what it's gonna be. So that's what I deal with right now. But But the motor is still a good motor. Has a little ticks and talks, but it's a good motor. All the gauges work. Ain't no check engine light on. Every once in a while, I do have to check to see how the gauges are doing. You know, the battery gauge would be probably 2 notches after the middle. It lets me know that it's at 13 point something or 14. The fuel is usually past the half. Oil gauge is usually 1 dash before the half, and then the water temperature is the same. It'll be 1 or 2 dashes before the half. So that's good right there. Unless I step on the gas and try to smash out, the oil pressure would go 2 or 3 notches in front of the half. So that's not too bad. Everything responding how it should do. Speed-wise, the odometer seems to be working fine. Even though this has 22s on it, they're front-wheel drive 22s, like 22s, 245, 30, 22, 30 series. So basically, I didn't have to cut and didn't have to do much lifting except for in the back. I had to put a little spring support just to keep the back up a little bit, because I do have weight in the back. I have 215s, you know. Sometimes you have passengers. The tires do scrub a little bit towards the inside of the fender, but when turning, they don't rub. It's just the back that rubs when you're running over a bump, depending on how fast you're going, whether you're going to bring the car. When you try to jump a hill or some shit, that's basically what it is. Fog lights, HID, headlights, HID. That's about it. Everything else is fine. I do gotta clean the interior a whole lot. Gotta wipe it down with Armorall, degreaser, and then Armorall shine again. The headliner has been falling apart, so this shit gotta go to the shop and get put down or re-put on, or put a new headliner on. But for the most part, it's just a work in progress right now. That's about it for now. I'll just keep this up to date.